In today's video we will discuss the top 15 best Nike sneakers of all time. Everyone knows the Nike sneaker is a staple in every sneakerhead's community. Stay tuned to see if your favorite sneaker made the list. Please make sure you subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel. Number 15. Blazer. Year introduced, 1973. Before Nike could think globally, they had to act locally. The Blazer, their first basketball shoe, was named for the basketball team in their backyard, the Portland Trail Blazers, and worn by several of their big names including Jeff Petrie. While not exactly a groundbreaking design, even for the early 70s, the Blazer brought the swoosh onto the hardwood and continues to shine as part of Nike's SB line. A true classic never dies. Number 14. Air MAG. Year introduced, 2015. When news first leaked about the Air MAG release, sneakerheads literally lost their minds. There are probably some poor souls still locked up, screaming that their Plan BS will float if given the chance. Marty McFly's kicks didn't feature the coveted self-lacing system, but they did support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. An amazing pair of shoes for a very worthy cause. Very limited. Number 13. Air Diamond Turf. Year introduced, 1993. Multi-sport stars were all the rage in the early 90s. Well, at least Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. Primetime spent half of his time on the football field and half of his time on the baseball diamond, and Nike set him up with the Air Diamond Turf. Aside from fresh styling, the tongue logo featuring gold posts set atop of home plate is another cool thing to come from Deion's career. These dope shoes will be added to Deion's Hall of Fame career. Number 12. Air Tech Challenge 2. Year introduced, 1989. Andre Agassi exploded onto the tennis scene in the late 80s like an LSD-filled piñata. He brought neon colors, acid-wash denim, and an epic heavy metal mullet to a sport normally dominated by various shades of white, and John McEnroe, the angry, destructive tennis star. The Air Tech Challenge 2, designed by who else? Tinker Hatfield, splashed those colors proudly on the heel and toe, and ironically enough put tennis shoes on the level of basketball shoes. Number 11. Air Max 90. Year introduced, 1990. Former architect, now sneaker design legend Tinker Hatfield rarely misses the mark. The Air Max 90 isn't his best. Nor is it the pinnacle of Air Max design. However, the color that brilliant infrared continues to capture the imagination of every sneakerhead, and the mudguard wrapping the toe proposed a new dawn of running durability. Fun additional fact, before designing the Air Max 90, Hatfield took a sabbatical and traveled around the world. Needless to say, he returned home rejuvenated and inspired. Number 10. Air Jordan. Year introduced, 1985. The Nike Air Jordan was only revolutionary in its use of color. The airbag was tiny, the design somewhat pedestrian. But Peter Moore's ball and wings logo and the decidedly non-basketball black and red colorway made all the difference. Super agent David Falk wanted Michael Jordan to receive the same signature treatment as tennis players, and he got what he wanted. But it's hard to imagine even Falk predicted the overwhelming success that would soon follow. Number 9. Dunk. Year introduced, 1986. Be true to your school. Nike had been lacing elite college programs for years before 1986, thank you, Sonny Vaccaro, but the Dunk program represented an attempt to institute some team individuality. Schools like St. John's, Iowa, Kentucky, Syracuse and Villanova got their very own team colorways of the same shoe, the Nike Dunk, which played off the extraordinarily popular Air Jordan. Decades later, the Dunk was revived as a skate shoe, becoming one of the first sneakers to achieve iconic status in two completely disparate disciplines. Number 8. Air Huarache. Year introduced, 1992. Inspired by Mexican sandals and Nike predecessors, such as the Bermuda and the Air Flow, Tinker Hatfield turned to neoprene to create a lightweight, foot-hugging runner that offered plenty of lacing options and a highly distinctive look. Trainers and basketball shoes would follow, but it was the runner that led the way. Number 7. Air Max 95. Year introduced, 1995. Sergio Lozano turned to the human body for inspiration when it came to designing the Air Max 95, and his creation has since taken its rightful place in the pantheon of human creations, period. The organic-looking design is of course best represented in the initial gray/neon gradient colorway, but with literally hundreds, if not thousands, to choose from, it's tough to find one that doesn't look amazing. Number 6. Air Jordan 5. Year introduced, 1990. The Air Jordan 5 not only embraced flash, it embodied it, what with its 3M reflective tongue and clear rubber outsoles. Inspired by the P-51 Mustang fighter plane, the Air Jordan 5 was built to attack. And its asymmetrical ankle collar, higher inside than out, found its way onto sneakers in multiple disciplines. Number 5. Air Trainer 1. Year introduced, 1987. The Nike Air Trainer 1 was not the first multi-sport sneaker. Pretty much any sneaker designed before 1970 filled that role. But it was one of the first designed expressly to be a multi-sport sneaker. Tinker Hatfield developed a shoe that would be equally at home on the courts or in the gym, and John McEnroe proved its worth by essentially adopting it as his signature shoe. The chlorophyll colorway remains a grail to many despite several re-releases. Number 4. Air Jordan 3. Year introduced, 1988. Tinker Hatfield's first Air Jordan may well stand as his best. The 3 introduced visible air, elephant print and the Jumpman to the Air Jordan line, all of which are still signifiers to this day. As the story goes, Jordan was somewhat dissatisfied with Nike at the time in part due to the departure of some of his most trusted execs, and it was Hatfield and the 3 that kept him in the fold. If that is indeed the case, no single sneaker has ever had as large an impact on the sporting landscape. Number 3. Air Force 1. Year introduced, 1982. The first Nike basketball sneaker to feature the then new air cushioning system, 1982's Bruce Kilgore designed Air Force 1 was a shining beacon of functionality. During the design process, Nike designers played a game of basketball with scissors on the sideline, and every few minutes they had to cut a piece off of the shoe to see what was essential and what wasn't. If the shoe became unplayable, the player dropped out. Practical experiments like this helped in the development of one of the most beloved sneakers of all time, often imitated but never duplicated. Number 2. Air Max 1. Year introduced, 1987. The Nike Air Max stands as Nike's ultimate achievement, one of the most successful cases of form dictating function in sneaker history. As the airbag grew bigger, designer Tinker Hatfield was faced with a problem: how to fit the larger air into the traditional foam midsole. A trip to Paris and a look at the center Georges Pompidou gave him an idea. Why not cut the foam away to expose the air? The center Pompidou exposed all of what was normally hidden. So would the Air Max runner. Nike's signature technology became visible, and nothing in the sneaker world would ever be the same again. Number 1. Air Jordan 11. Year introduced, 1995. When Michael Jordan retired, no one wanted to believe it was final. Least of all Tinker Hatfield, who dutifully continued designing the Air Jordan line despite the directives of Nike higher-ups. And it's a good thing that he did, or else the Air Jordan 11 may have never happened. Hatfield took inspiration from a lawnmower and added a patent leather rand for both protection and flash. A clear outsole revealed a full-length carbon spring plate, a Nike first, and ballistic mesh complemented the patent leather perfectly. This shoe has been a Jordan staple for sneakerheads. I hope you enjoyed our top 15 best Nike sneakers of all time. Please leave a comment below for any shoe you think we missed or you think should have been added.